Hello, everybody, or Ohio gozaimasu, or konnichiwa, depending on what time of day it is when you're watching this. But anyways, welcome to my channel. I'm Firehawk, the Master Shinobi, and obviously I got my Akatsuki on, got my clouds, and Uchiha, got my Uchiha shirt on too, even. We're going to obviously see a picture of Madara over here. And so basically I'm going to start a series. Don't know exactly how long it's going to be. But I'm going to start a series. There's been a couple different, and I may start another series after this. But I like the idea of thinking about what ifs and what if this happened or whatever. And kind of thinking about it in no sense to think about, hey, what would happen? And then trying to think about it in that character, try to get in that character's mindset and think about how they would, do some research and kind of see how they would be in that situation. So this series is if Madara killed off the Senju Clan. So basically, if he succeeded in killing the first Hokage, and I think if Madara would not be satisfied with just killing the leader of the clan, I think he'd have to kill them all. The first, second Hokage would have to both die. And the clan would have to go too. So I think the Uchiha clan would succeed, and how they would succeed is by killing the Senju clan. So the Senju clan would be gone. They'd be eliminated. And so that's what we are in. We're in. This is going to be what would happen if we were in that universe. So what if we were in that universe? What if we were in a universe where Madara was successful? What would the universe look like? First of all, I think Madara, some of the things would be still kind of similar. Some people would like, oh, Madara would do, he just end the, get all the tail beasts and do all that. No, he'd be different because he became different later on. He was geared by loss and pain, and all he knew was war. I mean, he was born in war. All the clans warred, and he had a friend, but then he found out that best friend was actually his enemy. He was supposed to be his enemy, and that changed a lot of things. But he saw a lot of his brothers die, and that changed his dynamic, and that changed who he was. He was bitter. Even after the village was founded and all that stuff was taken away from him, he became bitter. So he became that version by circumstances. And so that's why I always like about Madara. He's such a great character, but I think that he could have been a good person on the flip side of that and a strong warrior if the circumstances were changed. So I think he still founds a village. I think he still founds a village. Of course, I don't think the village is called the Hidden Leaf Village. I don't think it's the Village Hidden Leaves. I think that the village has a different name, but he does found a village, and I think he invites other clans after he's battled with Senju. I think he wants to find peace. He is trying to find peace, and that's, I think, what he's always been trying to do. But he just doesn't like other people's version of peace, because to him it doesn't elevate the Uchiha like it should. So I think he still founds a village, but this village is the Hidden Flame Village, or the village hidden in the flames, because that's a Uchiha thing, and you're in the land of fire. I think that would be a big thing. And obviously I think the only difference would be is that the village hidden in the flames runs the land of fire. Madara doesn't answer to anyone. And I think the Uchiha family becomes the royal family. And I think that's how it acts. It's not like putting someone in power. I think instead it becomes like a royal family. So Madara obviously becomes the Hokage, or whatever they would call it in that village. The emperor, or the governor, or the king, of the land, so to say. And I think that he would basically, the Uchiha clan would act as a royal family. So you would see that Madara basically, whoops, Madara basically um, makes the Uchiha clan something instead of it being a second thought and put out here and become the police, and people always are fearful of the Uchiha. I think the Uchiha become something successful, which that's going to change the different dynamics of things. But I think a lot of things will still exist in a way because they have to exist. This is in the universe, they still would exist, but they'd be in a different form. We're still going to see different circumstances, and people are going to be different. So it's researching that and being like, okay, well, what would happen? And that's basically what we're trying to accomplish in this. And I think that, like I said, Uchiha clan would become a royal family because that's how Madara would want it. Madara wants peace, and he would invite other clans to join the village because he does want peace and he does see strength. And obviously, the village hidden in the flames would become a powerhouse. It would be a powerhouse village because he's a warrior. First and foremost, he wants peace, but he doesn't always know how to have peace because all he's been all his life is a warrior. But I do think he would find that form of peace because I think instead of that Madara and the Uzumaki clan, I think the Uzumaki clan, because of their connections to the Senju clan, I think they are going to basically offer a marriage connection, so that way they can have something successful and be at peace. They're going to be scared that they're next. I mean, if a clan that powerful as the Senju clan is wiped out, that's going to leave an impression. People are going to fear the Uchiha. They're going to know that they're powerful and that you shouldn't mess with them. Madara would be greatly admired and greatly respected because he succeeded. And so his life would be totally different too. He wouldn't be fueled by bitterness. That would change it. It would be more like it was in the beginning of the founding of the Leaf Village. It'd be a lot different. I think he'd be part of him would miss the battle, but I think he'd be happy to try to find that version of peace. And I think Madara would obviously he'd have the strongest warriors, and I think that would be obviously a big deal. You want being a warrior, being a shinobi in this village is going to be more meaningful than any other village because of Madara's standards. And so that's going to make everybody still strong people. Not that any of the candidates in the Leaf Village aren't strong. It is going to change some of those dynamics. Naruto and different people's dynamics and what they are is going to be different. But it's going to be interesting to find out how different it is and what makes the difference. But this is the first difference. The Uchiha clan and the Uzumaki clan become one, and so Madara becomes, has a wife in this one, and then obviously would take and not just have a wife, but now he would have a child, and I think that child would be a son. He'd have himself a son. And that would become the next ruler after him. He would raise his son to be strong. He would raise his son to be to take his place, and Madara would be okay with that. He would really love his son. He would love, teaching him and training him, because Madara has always enjoyed training people. But at the end of the day, he liked manipulating people because of how the goals. But I don't think he'd have to feel that he had to manipulate people or control people in a sense. I think that he would be able to actually be like more at peace that the Uchiha clan is finally on top, that he built this village, and I think this village would be a powerhouse, and he would be proud of what he built because no one would stand against this village. There would be obviously those that want to destroy it, but um, I don't think that they'd be able to uh, destroy this village because it'd just be too strong. And so then obviously Tsunade would be his granddaughter, and Tsunade would, instead of being uh, you know a Senju, she'd be a Uchiha. And so, but she would still have that element of her, the health, because that's her from her grandmother. So she'd still have that ability from the Uzumaki clan that she does have and that she leans on the most. But the only difference is she had the Sharingan as well. And so she'd be a warrior that also can heal. And that makes her super, super deadly. And I don't think she would be the fifth Hokage. She'd be the third. She'd be the third in the line of the royal family. So after her father passes away or gives up the mantle, however they decide to do it, maybe down the line, yeah, they do, like somebody wants to see their child in power and kind of pass on that torch. I don't know if they'd wait necessarily to death. They may pass on the torch before that. It just depending on their dynamics. Madara would not pass on the torch until he passed away. That's just Madara's. He would want to still be in power and still be in charge. But then again, he may give up foreign power and still be kind of in control, really, kind of controlling his son and kind of controlling it from the backgrounds. I think he could do that, give up power and still see his son succeed, but also kind of pull the strings a little bit in the background. I definitely could see that. Him giving up power and still pulling the strings because you wouldn't know it was him. But Tsunade would be definitely a force to be reckoned with, and we will definitely talk more about her in future episodes and future parts of this series, because she'll definitely have a lot of change. The world around her will definitely be the world that we know when Naruto is around Tsunade's time. So, and that would definitely affect some things. So, I think that would be definitely interesting to see. So, we'll definitely be see what becomes of them. So, for sure. I think another thing that happens in this series is that Madara's brother doesn't die. And as far as giving the eyes to his brother, I think it either still happens or they figure out that they can actually just trade each other eyes. Like they figured that out. I don't know. I don't know what the aspect would be if they actually figured out that they can trade each other eyes, or if he would just give him his eyes because they haven't figured that out yet. Give him his eyes because he was going blind, and then figures out how to be strong without his vision, and kind of starts being kind of more like a daredevil type person where he can start sensing things with his chakra and things like that. And that's kind of how I picture it, because I don't think they figure out that they can actually trade each other's eyes, that they can just trade each other and fix everything. But I think that he still gives his brother his eyes, and he becomes a warrior, like I said, a daredevil type warrior, and figures out how to be powerful with his chakra and his sensing. And I think that he becomes the leader of the Anbu Black Ops. I don't know if it would be called Anbu. We'll say, for in the sake of things, that there's going to be a lot of things that still have to exist, and some of it will probably exist in a form. Maybe it would be different, called something different. But in this one, we'll say the Anbu is called this Anbu. I like that word. I like the Anbu. I like the name Anbu. And I do like the dynamics of Anbu, and I think that would still be very similar. I think they would be more powerful, though, because they always seem like they're, I don't know. Anytime you watch Naruto, you always be like, Anbu are supposed to be the strongest, but they're not. They're all little wimps, and they always get beat the crap out of them. So I don't think that's the same instance. I think they become great because of leadership, because Madara's brother leads them to success and builds a great special ops. And I think a lot of great warriors will be part of be part of the Anbu, and will still be part of the Anbu, and maybe continue to be part of the Anbu, and that would change their life. Maybe like Kashi, we don't know what his life will look like in this new world. It'll be definitely interesting to think about how those lives are going to be changed. I think that's what's most interesting to me is like, okay, whose all life is different? How's this universe going to be? Obviously there's going to be differences and things like that, for sure. But I think I really enjoy thinking about those differences for sure. And like I said, I think Madara accepts his death peacefully, and he dies peacefully because and accepts it. He got to see his son be in power, got to see his son be successful, and he's excited. I think he got to be part of Tsunade's life, and I think that's going to be an influence on Tsunade because, I think that Tsunade would still be. I think she'd be even more of a little bit of a hothead, and stuff like that, just because she had the Uchiha side. But I think she would calm down later on when she becomes leader. I think, but I think she'd be a great warrior. Definitely even more powerful. I think with the two aspects, I think she becomes one of the the most powerful leaders of the village hidden in flames. I definitely think that she becomes one of the strongest for sure. For sure. Definitely. So, and then obviously this is just for fun. What if I might do a spin-off of another series and be like, what if they were together? Like it's always been rumored that Madara loved him, that there was more of that kind of relationship, more of a love relationship. I think that would be an interesting dynamic to think about and interesting to talk about. But I do think that this universe is definitely interesting because, like I said, without the Senju Clan, it changes a lot of things. But I think it changes the world around them, and the village itself is totally different and a totally different concept. A village still exists, but it's not named the same thing, and the dynamics is different. I don't think they have. I think it's more of a military kind of rule where I don't think they have like a police force. I think the Anbu are not just special forces, but I think they're also the police force in a way. I think that's how they control things. Is they might use the shinobis, the ninjas for some things too, but I think if it gets to a big thing, they'll use the Anbu in the dark of night to take care of the problem. So definitely think that the world will be different. I don't think they have a traditional police force. I think that's how things are run. Basically you have your shinobis and you have your Anbu, special ops and things like that. I think those are the dynamics of the squads and things like that. So I think that makes it interesting. You might have like a royal guard too. If they did have a royal guard, it most likely they'd be made up of more Uchihas, maybe not, maybe some strong warriors, depending on that. We'll just see how that progresses and kind of think about those things. But this might be a spin-off. That'll be an interesting spin-off as well. I definitely would like to think about this concept, but for right now, we're starting a series. This is the first one of Madara, if Madara killed the Senju Clan, and I'm definitely looking forward to what the universe is going to look like. I'm definitely excited about researching it, studying it, and thinking about what the world would be like. This world would be like if Madara had been successful. But the first thing that we see is these are the differences so far. So let me know if you agree or disagree, and some things that maybe you thought maybe are going to be different, and why. And as always, please like and subscribe, and join us next time right here. Thank you.